to my channel. In today's video I'm going to show you how to make salt dough in two different ways, a brown and a white, and they can be used to make lovely Christmas decorations or anything you want really. It's super versatile. So for your white salt dough you're just going to need flour, salt and water, and then some cup measurements. So you're going to need 1 cup of plain flour, this is. Then you need half a cup of salt, and obviously you can double the batch depending on how many decorations you're planning on making. So 1 cup flour, half cup salt, and then up to half a cup of water. Don't add it all in at the beginning. So I kind of do 3/4 of the water and then give it a mix and see kind of texture wise where you're up to. And then if you need more water, you can always add a bit more. What you're aiming for is for it to make the bowl clean and make a nice solid dough, and then you just need to roll it out, and whatever cutters you've got, this is a really lovely one to do with a Christmas tree. So you get your child to cut the tree shape, and then as a family you all use your thumbprints as like the baubles, and when you decorate it you can paint the thumbprints all different colours. So there's Oscar's thumbprint and then my husband's thumbprint as well, so that's a really nice keepsake, and you can put the date on it. And then also we did some bauble shapes. So Oscar loves using the cutters. It took him a little while to get the hang of pushing down with his whole hand, but once he got there, and then you can put their thumbprint again and do this 2 different colours. So you could paint the whole bauble one colour and then do their thumbprint a separate colour. The next recipe is for a gingerbread salt dough, so it needs exactly the same ingredients as before, but with the addition of cocoa, cinnamon and ginger. So it starts exactly as the previous one did, with 1 cup of plain flour into your bowl and half a cup of salt. So this is exactly the same as before, but now you're going to add 1/4 cup of cocoa or drinking chocolate. This is just to create the brown colour. Obviously it's not meant to be eaten. And then you're also going to add a teaspoon of cinnamon and half a teaspoon of ginger, and this is what gives it that beautiful gingerbread smell, especially when it's cooking, but also when it's out for decoration on your tree. Give it a mix round in your bowl, and then you're going to add your water as before, so up to half a cup. This actually makes a wetter dough despite having more dry ingredients with the cocoa, so you probably won't need it all. Start with a little bit, give it a mix. Just as before, you want it to come away from the bowl and leave the bowl clean and create a nice solid dough, not too sticky. Obviously if it does go too sticky you can just add a little bit more flour, and obviously I would normally do all of this process with Oscar, but this is just the easiest way to show you. And then you're going to roll it out. Oscar really enjoys mixing it with his hands and rolling it out, and then obviously doing the cutters, making sure that their hands are nice and flat. He really enjoys doing that part. We made some really big gingerbread men, and then turned this into a garland. Don't forget, anything that you create, you need to make a hole so you can hang it. So if it's a garland, you need to obviously put the holes in different places that if you're going to hang them individually. We also made some reindeer, and we made them into thumbprint reindeer because we wanted to create his shiny red nose. So once you've cut out your reindeer and put them on a board, you can then use your toddler to use their thumb to make the little indentation for the reindeer's nose to decorate later. So with the gingerbread men, if you're going to do a garland, make sure that you put 2 sizable holes across their chest. They don't tend to close up in the oven, but just make sure that you're obviously going to be able to get the ribbon through. And then lay them all out on a baking sheet for your oven, and you are going to need to cook them long and slow. Obviously you don't want them to get any colour, so 100 degrees Celsius for around 4 hours. What you're aiming for is for them to be rock hard. You can also air dry salt dough. The one on the right here I left out for 4 days, and it tends to stay a bit whiter. Obviously if they go in the oven they do get a bit of colour. When they come out though, they should be rock hard. They do kind of pale up, the brown ones, but they look like a biscuit that you could eat, but obviously far too hard now. And then you decorate them. So we used squeezy glitter glue. You can also varnish them or cover them in PVA glue if you want them to last a long time. I didn't, because I didn't kind of want that shiny look, but you definitely could if you wanted to. So here are our finished products. Rudolph with his shiny glittery nose, our white stars that I air dried and just left plain. Here is our Christmas tree with our glittery thumbprints for our family, and our gingerbread garland with red ribbon. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. I really hope you give these a try, and I will see you again next week. Bye!